Flights are $1,150 each for the trip, my wife said. If you can't afford it, stay behind. I nodded. Then my phone buzzed. It was an alert. My credit card had just been used to buy 4 business-class tickets. Not for me. I opened my banking app, hit Dispute All, and locked the account. My wife and her sisters showed up at my door, but I wasn't there. You ever have that moment where someone says something so casually cruel, it's like they've slapped you across the face with a wet towel? Yeah. That was my Tuesday morning, 7:23 a.m. I was still wearing scrubs, reeking of disinfectant and exhaustion after a brutal 13-hour shift at St. Mary's Emergency Department. My feet hurt. My back hurt. All I wanted was a cup of coffee, some toast, and maybe a few hours on the couch before going back to the hospital. Melina, my wife, stood in the kitchen looking like she'd just stepped out of a wellness magazine. Perfect blonde hair, fancy athleisure, green smoothie in hand. I mumbled a good morning, went straight for the coffee, and was already fantasizing about that first sip. That's when she dropped the bomb. Flights are $150 each, she said, eyes still glued to her phone. If you can't afford it, stay behind. I froze, coffee mug halfway to my lips. Did she really just say that to me? The guy busting. His ass for years to keep us afloat while she chased her wellness influencer dreams? This was the girls' getaway to Santorini. 7 days of beaches and Instagram while I stayed home and worked double shifts to pay for it all. I should have said something. Should have called her out. Instead, I nodded and pretended it didn't sting. That's what I always did. I sat down at the kitchen table, coffee in hand, and tried to process it all. Outside, the world was normal. Inside, my stomach dropped. My phone buzzed. A new credit card alert. Business class tickets to Athens, 4 of them. Departure next Friday. $4,600 charged, without my knowledge. The names were right there. Melina, Ivana, Sasha, and Reina. Not only had they booked the trip, they'd upgraded to business class and put it all on my card. The same card I'd given Melina for emergencies 2 years ago. She didn't even look up. Probably browsing. Resort photos, planning her outfits, while my bank account burned. And in that moment, something in me shifted. It wasn't anger. It was clarity. I'd been the safety net for too long, taken for granted, used as the family ATM. I quietly opened my credit card app, flagged all 4 transactions as unauthorized, and locked my account. It took 30 seconds. 30 seconds to finally take control. Melina wiped down the spotless countertop, humming, satisfied. But I wasn't playing along anymore. My phone started buzzing, calls, texts, chaos, but I needed air. I grabbed my keys and headed out, finally saying enough. The drive to Lake Harmony was 3 hours of peace. Classic rock on the radio, winding mountain roads, and no cell service for the first 2 hours. I checked my phone later. 17 missed calls, 23 texts, and a glorious message from my credit card company. The disputed charges were reversed. The texts were pure panic. Melina: where did you go? Your car's gone. Julian: this isn't funny. Call me back. Then: we're stuck at the airport. Everyone's staring. How could you do this to family? I took a sip of my beer and replied, what you said, I stayed behind. Then I turned off my phone and soaked in the silence. I spent the next few days reflecting on every loan, every emergency, every time I'd been guilted into opening my wallet. Sasha's emergency rent, gone to a Miami trip, Melina's dad's dental work. He bought a fishing boat right after. The Bahamas trip for Ivana's birthday, I paid for everything, worked double shifts, barely heard a thank you, add it all up, nearly $8,000 gone, and no appreciation. I went home, started a spreadsheet, and made an invoice. Aidandes sent it to the family group chat. Please settle your outstanding balance within 30 days. Further unauthorized charges will be treated as fraud. They called me toxic. Melina said I was ruining the marriage over a misunderstanding. But I didn't care. For once, I was done being the ATM. The week after, my life was peaceful. No more drama, no more crisis calls. I slept through the night, went to work, started rebuilding. Then Leanna, Sasha's ex, reached out. She was a forensic accountant. She showed me the receipts, years of hidden emergency funds, spa days, luxury trips, all paid for with my money behind my back. It was a gut punch, but it was also freeing. Now I had the truth and the proof. Even Melina's dad showed up apologizing, hoping for forgiveness after his wife threatened to leave him over the fishing boat. But I realized I was finally done. I set boundaries, got my own place, found real friends, started living for me, and the best part, I finally learned real love doesn't cost you your peace, your self-respect, or your bank account. I'm free. And that freedom, it's worth more than any relationship built on guilt and manipulation.